as they brought me up from when I was young.
Bring your family and friends to the King Farm Agricultural Fair for a weekend of unforgettable memories, delicious treats, loads of stalls and fun for the kids. Join us, view our livestock and enjoy 2 days of absolute fun at 10 Georgedale Road, Caterage on 18th and 19th of May. Specializing in premium cattle, sheep and goats, you can trust King Farm to assist in fulfilling all your Qurbani needs, offering a fully tailored service from slaughter to distribution, sliced and labeled for your convenience with delivery to your door or an institute of your choice. So contact 067 179 9351 at 10 Georgedale Road, Caterage. King Farm is part of the Phoenix Group of Companies.
Kickoff with Buddy Govender is brought to you by First Fitness, Durban's premier boutique gym.
Greetings, my name is Sandile and I'm a personal trainer at First Fitness based in King Dini Zulu Road. I offer individual personal training sessions to all age groups. My schedule is quite flexible with years of experience in the fitness industry. I'm passionate and committed in helping my clients achieve their goals through exercising and diet plans. Contact me on 07888 09000.
Welcome to Simplex Radio. Visit our showroom for the full range of car audio. Our TV department carries top brands with quality LED panels, full HD to Ultra HD, and now the experience of Super Ultra HD. Visit our theater rooms and transform your home with brands like Onkyo, Integra, Denon, Boston Acoustics, Yamaha, and more for quality audio visual experience. Now available, full range of home appliances. A one-stop shopping experience. Call 031 306 4029 or Kenilworth Park, 202 Brickfield Road, Overport. Simplex Radio, the name you can trust.
Kickoff with Buddy Govender is brought to you by First Fitness, Durban's premier boutique gym.
Radio, ALANSAAR.
Kickoff with me, Buddy Govender. Saturdays and Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. and on Wednesday evening from 7:30 to 8 p.m. keeping you up to date in the world of sport, health, fitness and martial arts. Bring your game on and kick off with Buddy Govender.
Welcome to your beautiful home, oh little child. I know that they did not care about your innocent life, but here you are, love, cherish the life without any harm. Prophet Ibrahim's waiting for you, both with Allah. Now spread your
Kick off with Buddy Govender.
You are home, you are free, you're forever safe. Oh, precious soul, you sweet scented rose. Your life has passed, but you're here at last. Welcome home, beautiful child. Wipe those tears from your beautiful eyes. Oh, no one here can ever hurt you. We are here forever to serve you. Welcome home, beautiful child. بشرى لكم يا شهداء يا أطفالنا، يا أبرياء جئتم لخير بكل الجمال. حي الشهيد بوركت به حسن الختام. زغردنا يا أمهات هم في أمان. اليوم لا دموع اطمئنان وسرور. في بيت إبراهيم بتم تبتسمون. طيور الجنان عيشوا في ضياء العمون في ظل.
It is a Sunday afternoon indeed. It is kickoff with me, Buddy Govender, right here on your favorite space on the airways, Radio ALANSAAR, powered by First Fitness. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And a super sporting Sunday afternoon. Welcome to your kicking off with me. It's my pleasure, as always, to be in your company on this fine afternoon. And if you are visiting Durban, well, a warm ALANSAAR welcome to you all. Stay safe. Do enjoy the show with us. Join me as we will travel around the world, picking up the latest in sports news, game previews, and of course, reviews as well.
No one here can never hurt you.
You can also follow me on Instagram at Buddy Govender. Yep, if you want to have a look at what my world's like, you're more than welcome to share that as well. And we've got a special guest in the studio, but we'll tell you all about that in a bit. Well, the top stories trending on kickoff this afternoon. Defending FA Cup champions Manchester City are back in another FA Cup final. Yesterday, Orlando Pirates edged Amazulu. They moved to second position in the DStv Premiership. There's mixed results for South African rugby teams in the URC. I've got all the tennis action from Barcelona and Stuttgart. And of course, all the latest news from the track and field as well.
I don't need a fancy car. Life's broken me down with scars. On my back, I just count the stars. But I'm holding on, yeah. Cloudy storms and winter rain. Sometimes I just...
Well, let's get up to date with what's happening in the world as we speak. IPL 2024 is on at the moment. Punjab Kings are taking on the Gujarat Titan. The Kings are 34 for no loss, 17 overs remaining. So 3 overs into the game, 34 for no loss are the Punjab Kings. The CSA T20 Challenge, the Tuskers, they posted 132 for 9 in their 20 allotted overs. The Lions are currently 86 for 3, meaning the Lions need 47 runs to win from 7.3 overs against the Tuskers. The Rocks and the Northwest Dragons, or the Rocks in their 20, they put away 143 for 5. The Dragons are 67 for 1. They need 77 runs to win from 11.4 overs. And then, of course, the big one for us, the Dolphins, they are away to the Warriors. Well, the Warriors posted a total of 130 for 8 in their 20 overs. Dolphins are currently 49 for 2. They need 82 runs to win from 14.2 overs.
He gives police so I can call. He is always here. He is always there. That's why I say I'll be okay, okay. I'll be okay, okay.
Well, let's fly around the world and, of course, pick up all the football scores that are happening as we speak. 87 minutes on this one. Everton are leading Nottingham Forest by 2-0. A massive, massive win there if Everton get it. Those points are so vital, but Nottingham Forest, well, it could look like it could be curtains for them and they could be back again in the championship. Aston Villa, Bournemouth, 16 minutes on that one, 0-0. And 16 minutes, would you believe, Crystal Palace are 2-0 up against West Ham United. The game that's coming up a bit later on, it's Fulham versus Liverpool. It's an away game for Liverpool. It's a must-win game if they want to still have any chance of sneaking it in there. DStv Premiership at the moment, Polokwane City are trailing Cape Town City by 1-2. Richards Bay and Kaizer Chiefs 0-0. Both of those games about 57 minutes onto it. TS Galaxy Stellenbosch, that game is coming up a bit later on. Let's move off to the south of Europe, the Italian Serie A, Torino, Frosinone, 57 minutes 0-0. Across up to Spain, Almeria are also tied at 0-0 at Villarreal, albeit that game has just started 2 minutes into it. The game's coming up in the Spanish La Liga a bit later on, Deportivo Alaves and Atletico Madrid. And as they say, the biggest derby on the planet, Real Madrid, Barcelona. So that is going to be a big one. And then, of course, don't forget, a bit later on is the FA Cup semi-final, the second one, Coventry City, Manchester United. We're also live on Facebook at the moment, so if you want to get out there and have a look, my guest is on, and I'm going to introduce him in a bit as well. But if you're on there, Sister Bibi Amina Fili, we see you, my dear, we see you. So right now in the studio, we have a special guest, a very, very close friend of mine, more like family than friends. And of course, a footballer that actually has graced some of the biggest football fields in the country, and as well played for one of the biggest clubs in South Africa as well. I think many of you out there would probably think that Kaizer Chiefs is the biggest club that this country has produced. Well, you are wrong. Orlando Pirates is definitely the doyen of South African football. And we have in the studio live none other than Brother Gora Ibrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Gora, how are you, my brother?
Wa alaikum salam, buddy. I am fantastic. Thank you. It's great to be back in this part of the world again.
Absolutely lovely to have you in the studio. And many people actually wouldn't really realize that Orlando Pirates is, if not the biggest club in this country. They will always think of Kaizer Chiefs. And having said that as well, the original Soweto derby is not Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. It is?
No, it's not. It's Morocco Swallows and Pirates, of course.
Absolutely.
Chiefs gave a long time after.
Absolutely. But nonetheless, you've played for Orlando Pirates. Before that, in the Federation, you came from another great team, Vereniging Old Boys, and then of course one of the big teams in the South African Federation, if not South African football, Bluebells as well. So you've been around.
I'm fortunate to have played in some of these teams, buddy. They were really great teams at the time. It's a pity that we don't have anything. We don't have them existing any longer. Of course, I'm from Vereniging, so I made my start in Vereniging Old Boys way back in 1982, I think.
How old were you? You don't want to give your age away, but that's important because people need to know. How old were you when you made your debut?
When I was in Standard 8 and 15 years old, 15 years and a couple of months. But it was no big deal. We all started off early, but nobody raised their eyebrows at the time. If it were now, we would obviously shout the name from the rooftops, but we all started off early and we played football because basically nothing else to do at the time.
Yeah. But, you made your mark in the game as well. You've left a wonderful legacy behind and you've made your mark, as I said, and then you moved up the ranks, from VOB. Where did you go to?
So VOB at school, and then obviously VOB sells their franchise and they move on. It goes back and VOB sells their franchise. They become Azadville Aces, I think. Azadville then sells to Bluebells. And when I go to college, I then, in a way, I go to Bluebells, and in around sort of where I go back to VOB because that was who they were. Yeah. Yes, and then I went to Bluebells in 1985 as an 18-year-old, and that was a great team to play for too.
You went there in 85, and I mean, people that know the Federation, the Bluebells of 1977 and stuff like that, legendary players. Me as a boy sitting at Curry's Fountain watching that Bluebells team play. Suli Bamji was in that team as well, as a youngster in that Bluebells team. But there were some great players, Prega Tandroyan, Guna Pariachi,
Louis Juvenatham, Terry.
Yes,
there were some really good players.
Big boy,
Ratan Padiachi, Gruven Malope.
Yeah. So surely when you went to Bluebells, it was like going to the team of your dreams. At one time.
Yes, I tell you what was really awesome playing for Bluebells in 1985. The change room all had these personalities sort of in and out of the change room. Rega was my coach. Louis was thereabouts. Terry was there. Ratan sort of became a mentor. Alan Munsami was there.
So they were in and out the change room. These were the legends that you...
These were our legends, the legends that we could touch and we looked up to.
Sure. And tell me... so you were there at Bluebells, and obviously your parents also were behind you at that age, 15. I'm sure they wanted you to focus on schoolwork, but they were also like,
Absolutely.
you know what, this youngster's got potential.
So I wasn't bad at school. I really did well academically. And so when I was in 1982, as a 15-year-old, really doing well at school, but it was very difficult to play for Vereniging Old Boys and concentrate on schoolwork, because my friends used to go 5 o'clock to training, and then I used to go at 7 o'clock with all the big boys and come back at 9:30 in the evening. And then it was Standard 8, his first year of matric. And my teachers would tell me, there's just no future playing football. And I'd say, I understand it, but the passion and the dream. We dreamt a dream that didn't exist at the time.
Of course. So, playing in the federation, some of the great players. Maybe, I know we spoke about a player that I played against, and so fortunate, and albeit I must make it quite clear, it was the end of his career, but still classy, Dougie Carlson.
Dougie was the person who saw me, but I don't know what he saw in me when I was just 18, and he invited me to come to train with the Vereniging Old Boys first team. And the year before that, Vereniging Old Boys had become the first Transvaal team to win the cup. I think it was the 7 Seas.
Yes.
So I was among some of the top players at the time. There was Derek Eastwood and Kishore Kara, late Kishore Kara, playing with them for the very first time. So
did they play Glenville in the final?
They did indeed. They beat Glenville 2-1.
I was at the game. I was at the game. Yeah.
I wish I could have been there.
I was at the game. Well, I've got the program at home. I could lend it to you. But that was such a great result for VOB, because they were one of the better teams. They were one of a good team, but they weren't the big team as such, with all fairness and they were certainly not a big team. And to win the cup, that was something. No. But they had great players.
Anybody who knows a bit of the Transvaal at the time, Gauteng now, Vereniging was an Indian town, still predominantly an Indian town right now, 70 km south of Johannesburg. For Vereniging Old Boys to have played in the FPL at the time was unheard of. So it was just a dream of some of the administrators who had a bit of financial muscle and a dream. So it was an unbelievable dream of having football on our doorstep. And it was nothing like what you had in town here. But I wish I could have seen some of you guys and be part of you when you were living at the same time in town.
Anyway, we have Gora Ibrahim right here in the studio. If you'd like to chat to him, ask him a question, well, you can call him on 0861 904 904. You can call that number. It's into the ALANSAAR studio, 0861 904 904. Or if you're on a WhatsApp, 060 904 1056. I'll pick that one up and read it. And you can ask Gora any question. And we can actually find out a bit later, why is he here in Durban as well? Let me tell you what, Gora Ibrahim is also an Everton supporter. So he's one of 3 people in the entire country that I know support Everton. And let's give him some good news, because the game is still on. But Everton are leading Nottingham Forest by 2-0 at the moment. It's 87 minutes on that one. But we'll keep you in touch. And we're going to talk to Gora Ibrahim in a bit as well.
Too much been going down, knocked out, needed one more round. Face up's what I think about, eyes closed before I hit the ground. Now I know it's you that I never ever give up. I can't believe that I survived, cause of you I stood up. All of you are my king, you're the one that I need, the only one, the greatest, and that is what I believe. I wanna say I'm sorry now.
Well, yesterday in the FA Cup semi-final, Bernardo Silva scored the only goal of the game as Manchester City saw off Chelsea 1-0 in their semi-final match at Wembley Stadium. Well, this result sees Manchester City reach back-to-back FA Cup finals for the 3rd time in their history. So that's incredible. Remember, later today, we got Manchester United facing Coventry City in the second semi-final. So imagine if Manchester United win, it's going to be a Manchester FA Cup final, Gora. What do you think of that?
I think that's just awesome. I think Manchester United have been. I think the EPL needs Manchester United to be strong. Manchester City has just been making a mockery of the league for the last 4 or 5 seasons. They're just dominating. I think we need a change. I was hoping it's going to come from Liverpool, but it doesn't seem like it, buddy. We were hoping.
Well, it could still be a team with red, isn't it?
Yes,
but you're quite right. Manchester City, just phenomenal. Any players from your day that sort of stands out still today when you think that had we been in an environment without apartheid, without being stifled, banned from FIFA, that would have certainly have made his mark on the international stage?
So I've played in the Federation League, and then played in the OK League, and then I played in the NSL League. I never did play in the PSL as they call it now. So when I think when I was at Dynamo, I was playing in the NSL League. One of my favorite players, I thought at the time, was Shoes Michel.
Oh yeah,
I think probably the best player that I ever played against was Shoes. I really had difficulty with Kelvin and Keith, Kelvin Peterson and Keith America. I played against both of them at a very young age. I just thought they were extraordinary, talented players. If they had the opportunity then, I don't know. I think they could have gone very, very far.
Yes. There's not a doubt about that. You're quite right, because Kelvin and Keith were, as they call them, the terrible twins. A little bit of trivia here. The day Kelvin and Keith were bought from Cape Town Spurs to Berea Football Club, there were 3 players bought on that day. I was the third one. So it was Kelvin, Keith, and I that was bought by the Berea Football Club to move. I moved from Leeds United. Kelvin and Keith came from Cape Town Spurs. But you're quite right. Phenomenal players. You could see, especially Kelvin. Keith was talented, but Kelvin had a certain something that you could see. Had he been born in England, he would have been up there with some of the best.
Buddy, I must share with you that on the day that I made my debut for Vereniging Old Boys, we played at the Northdale Stadium against Maritzburg City.
And they were there, Maritzburg United. And they were there now, yes.
And they were the players up front, and there was a Mark Barkley.
Mark
was
Barkley.
on the right-hand side.
Yep.
And that was my first real initiation into football. We lost 4-1, but I will never forget that. They were such awesome players, so quick.
Okay, let me tell you about Mark Barkley, okay? Mark Barkley's 100-meter sprints was in the world record time for his age at the time. But obviously, because we were out of international sport, but Mark Barkley, as I said, his 100 meters was in the international timing. So you played, obviously you had a great debut playing against some of those players.
So, buddy, I had a shocker. I had Kishore Kara behind me. And we had Isop.
Yes, the late Isop. Yes.
The late Isop was on the... They swore at me like all like sailors.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was my fault. I don't know if anybody would have stopped it. But anyway, I took it that it was my fault. But these guys were just awesome.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But that Maritzburg United team as well was like the Manchester City of today.
Well,
Farouk Gabriel was in goal. Colin Solomons.
Clive Carrollison. Keith Valentine.
Oh, man. That was the Lang brothers.
Hima Jacobs.
Yes.
Sally Adams.
They were the Manchester City.
Does it get any...
Yeah, exactly.
Worse than that for us. It doesn't get any better.
Absolutely. So then you moved... There was an opportunity now. Okay, because the federation, again, with all due respect, was coming towards the end. And if you had talent, you could ply your trade in the NSL. So you went into the OK League, am I right?
I sort of hit the ceiling at Bluebells. I felt at the time Bluebells saw me as a centre back, and I just thought there weren't enough great centre forwards to play against in the Federation League. So I really wanted to play in the midfield. And Bluebells didn't see me as a midfielder. And I kept on pushing forward, and they kept on saying, and then I decided that, look, I need to find a team that will play me in the midfield. And eventually, when Swaraj went over to the OK League a couple of years later, they gave me an opportunity not to play as a centre-back, but to play in their midfield.
All right.
With Angelo Burts and company. And it took a while to get into that midfield, but I did get there. So I was quite versatile. I had a problem with creativity and how they saw me as a player at Bluebells at that time.
Well, let me tell you about Everton Forest, because 90 minutes was up 16 minutes ago. Can you believe this? I don't know if any game has gone longer than this. It's 106 minutes at the moment, and the game is still on. So there must have been something.
Is there a conspiracy against us, Everton? They're docking us points, and now they are making sure that we...
So you guys are still up 2-0, but how's this? 35 minutes into it, Aston Villa are trailing Bournemouth by 1-0. I still think it's early days, and this is even more shocking, Gora. 33 minutes, West Ham 0, Crystal Palace 4, and it's only 33 minutes. So it looks like we're in for a feast of goals.
That's another derby of sort. It's a London derby of sort, isn't it?
So we're in for a feast of goals there. Well, let's move over to rugby, because in the Vodacom URC, the DHL Stormers suffered their first defeat against Ospreys after going down 27-21 in Cape Town. Munster, they saw off the Vodacom Bulls 27-22 in their fifth win in a row. And the Emirate Lions, well, they got a bonus point, 44-12 result over Leinster in Johannesburg. So it was a very mixed day of rugby for the South African URC rugby teams. Last night in the DStv Premiership, Sharafatso Mabasa registered his 11th goal of the season to guide Orlando Pirates to a 1-0 home win over Amazulu Football Club. SuperSport United search for a first league win in the 2024 season continued after they went down 2-0 at home to Chippa United. Sekekune United edged Cape Town Spurs by 1-0, and Kulakani Shezi cancelled out Zikalile Mkize's own goal as Royal AM and Golden Arrows played out a 1-1 draw in the KZN derby. Gora, SuperSport United, at one time winners of the league, today haven't got a win in 2024. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's sometimes football can do that to you, buddy. Especially if the nature of football can be so unpredictable.
Absolutely.
With regard to the Pretoria teams, I think Sundowns as well. They've just opened this big gap between them and everybody else
every year.
And you'd think that a team like SuperSport would see them as a bit of a motivator, to do a little better,
but
not.
But anyway, Formula One yesterday in China, the 3-time defending champion Max Verstappen, he won the Chinese Grand Prix with Lando Norris, Sergio Perez in second and third respectively. Well, Verstappen clinched his first win in China as the Shanghai International Circuit celebrated its return to the calendar after a 5-year break. Do you follow the Formula One?
I do indeed, and I must say the driver that I really, really like is not doing very well. He's going to Ferrari next year, so hopefully fortunes will change.
Yeah. But isn't it strange how at one time Lewis Hamilton, I know you're talking about him, can't lose, and now he can't win.
He can't.
You know, do they blame the car or what?
The dominance of the
Red Bull.
Honda and Red Bull is just I can't remember any car dominating the Grand Prix like this guy is dominating. It's no, the other guys are just. It's actually become quite boring watching because they just win. There was a time when Schumacher also dominated with the Ferraris. I think in the early 2000s. I suppose there's a phase, but everything will change. Nothing stays.
You know what's amazing is that apparently this is Red Bull's 100th pole position. Do you know who leads the number of pole positions?
So I know. Was it Lewis?
No. You would. I was also Ferrari. The second is about 160 something pole positions. Ferrari is sitting at 256 or something like that. So obviously it was all the pole position from back in the day when Ferrari was dominant over the decades. But that's still a lot, 267 as opposed to 160. It's like 100.
Wow, that's a lot. I suppose that's the car to try for, isn't it?
Ferrari. Of course, say that red car. Why not? Well, right now your game is over, so you guys I think have won 2-0. Good result there. Polokwane City is still trailing Cape Town City by 1-2. Richards Bay has taken the lead over Kaizer Chiefs. They are leading Chiefs 75 minutes by 1-0. But later on, the derby, Barcelona, Real Madrid. What do you say there?
I look forward to that. I used to lean towards Barcelona because of Messi. He's such a great fan, and Guardiola was there. I'm a big fan of Guardiola. But I have great admiration for Carlo Ancelotti and what he's done with Real Madrid. I reckon they'll probably be the favourites going into today's game.
Absolutely.
And the momentum coming off the victory against Man City. So who knows?
And then there's quite a high possibility that Real Madrid will probably win the league.
Yeah. I think Ancelotti has done really well. That's maybe one of the toughest jobs in football right now, to be at Madrid in a managerial capacity. Very, very tough.
Well, let's go to the game with the small ball but big money, golf. Masters champion Scotty Scheffler, he carded an 8 under 63 for a one-stroke lead over Sepp Strake after the third round at the RBC Heritage. And Wesley Bryan, he leads Kevin Tway by one shot at the Corrales Pantacona Championships after carding a 2 under 70 in the third round. You follow the golf?
Some. I tell you, I tried playing golf and I ended up breaking my clubs. No, not literally. I ended up very frustrated. I have great respect for these guys that play like that. Oh, they're super talented.
Absolutely. And Tiger Woods, I see him trying, but I really think he should quit now. You as a footballer knows as well. You'll get those players that did so well, but they played a little bit too long. And you know what? People only remember you from your last few games. And Woods at the moment, it's definitely over.
Yeah.
But he's still trying. He's still in there. And then he fails dismally. I really think he's one of the greatest golfers ever. And we should just call it quits there. So, Gora, what are you actually doing here in Durban? Because there's this book I'm holding. So if you're on the Facebook page right now, it says No Regrets. And that's a beautiful book by Gore Ibrahim. So tell us a bit about this.
So, buddy, I'll be relocating to Cape Town in the next 2 weeks. I always wanted to come to Durban, but that would have been my first choice. I hope the Cape Townians are not listening to this. But I am going to Durban, and we said we'll come to Durban for one last trip, spend some time with my wife Munira and I, and bring the book and hopefully give it some exposure. And I was hoping to speak at 1 or 2 schools, but things didn't go as planned. I am here with you. I will be speaking on 1 or 2 other radio shows during the week, But be that as it may, I mean, staying in a beautiful part of KZN in Umhlanga and really loving it there.
Great.
And of course, I'm going to be spending a lot of time with you, buddy, whether you like it or not.
Absolutely. I like it. Well, you know what? If anybody out there would like to, get Gora over to your school or whatever to chat, well, give us a call. You can give me a call on my private number, 083 560 1213, 083 560 1213. Most likely, inshallah, Gora is going to be down at the Callies Astro on Wednesday evening. So the Alberton Callies legends that all play out there. So we'll be there probably around 7-ish. So you want to come and meet Gora, get a copy of his book, get a photo, get the book signed, you can come down there as well. You want to find out more about the book, 083 560 1213. That's my number, 083 560 1213. And then, I can give you Gora's number there. But if you want Gora to come in and have a chat, you can do that. Remember also First Fitness, they drive the show. They power the kickoff show that I present. Well, I'm also going to we'll work on it, inshallah, get Gora down at First Fitness as well, the beautiful boutique gym. And maybe we'll set up one of the days at the coffee shop there, and you can come down, have a cup of coffee, chat to Gora and see what it's about, and also look at First Fitness, an amazing gym. But you want to find out more, you want to chat to Gora, you want to get him over, contact me, 083 560 1213. Tell us about the book, because it's got a fascinating title, No Regrets.
So, buddy, I'm not what. Well, there's I suppose there's a yin and a yang in all of us. I think there's a male and a female side. There's a good and a bad side. There's a light and a dark side in me. And so many years ago, at the height of my career, things didn't go too well, and I assaulted my coach coming when I was substituted. And I caused great embarrassment to my family, to my friends, to myself.
Because that was on TV, wasn't
it? And that was live on TV 30 years ago. I was the butt of many jokes. It wasn't so funny for me, but I really contemplated all sorts of unsavory things. I really thought my life was coming to an end. When you lived football your whole life and then it's just snatched away from you, or you've just messed up. So I started writing this book as an apology to everyone during the COVID period. Okay. And I wrote and I gave it context, pre-context, and it morphed into a book. And I must say that I feel much better. I'm able to speak about what happened, the trauma. I know, and what it's about, what the book has helped me with is to purge myself of the demons, and it's sort of been a cathartic experience, if you like. So I feel lighter.
Great.
I feel that when others have difficulty, we always have options. It's a book about resilience, about adapting to different environments and challenges. So, and I know it's about not giving up, and that's the essence of the book. My wife read it, and lots of people read it, and it says there's a sadness that permeates the book. Perhaps there is, but what I'd like the book to come out and teach or assist others who read it is that you always have options, and you can overcome.
Absolutely. And also, I think what I like about the book is that you bring in your family as well.
Yes.
You talk about the family. You talk about, when you say a certain sadness permeates the book, what's that? It's the truth. Yeah. People always think that footballers are always leading the high life, and they don't know the trauma that we go through and the sacrifices that are made as well to our families.
So I know I'm speaking to a fellow footballer who's given up a lot, who's sacrificed a lot. And when on the days when things are not going too well, and the next day you go to work, you brush it off, and you just keep on going. It's not easy. It's very challenging. We also go through a period where we feel that we're immortal.
Yeah.
We could do anything we want to.
And we're going to be young forever.
And we're going to be young forever. And then at some point, we just wake up and we smell the roses and we think, oh my goodness, where has 10 years gone? It's life.
Yeah.
And football has taught me many, many lessons. I'm sure as it has you, buddy, and many other footballers who's probably listening in. I hope they are. And when they read my book, I hope they can relate. We come from similar backgrounds.
I'm sure. Well, it's definitely a book that I would recommend because, it could probably bring out something that you've been also suppressing in your life as a sports person or what. So if No Regrets, that's with Gora Ibrahim. It's available. He's got copies of the books. You want to get a signed copy, a photo with him, remember you can contact me 083-560-1213. That's my private number, 083-560-1213. Gora's going to be around with me, inshallah, for the rest of this week. We're going to try and move around. As I said, Wednesday night, we're going to be down at the Orient Astro. You can come down there from about 7 p.m., have a chat with Gora. We'll be talking to all the other legends that'll be there as well. I'll try and arrange that we get to First Fitness as well, so you can come out there to First Fitness, come and join us for a cup of coffee, have a chat with Gora, and also look at First Fitness and their fantastic facility as well. And if you're one of a school person, official, you want to get him over to the school, call me. We'll try and arrange that as well. I'm sure Gora will be open to that. So, indeed, Gora, so just quickly, we've got a few minutes. Orlando Pirates.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go there.
My team?
The Buccaneers.
So here's the thing that's happening with Pirates right now. I'm back into the fold of Pirates. I'm speaking to... I work have a very close relationship with Tebogo Moloi in Bashin Mshlangu. And we are part of the Zodwa Kodwa Foundation, which is by Ivan Koza's daughter, who was married to Sizwe Mutaung, and they both died of AIDS.
Yes.
They set up the foundation, and I work with the foundation. They are sort of very interested in getting the books to all of the schools, and yes, and all of the old guys, Moses Moloi and Metro Blitz. Sitoli, I don't know if you remember, he was in your time. All of these guys, we're all together right now. So I'm back into the Pirates fold after 30 years hiatus. So I love being back.
Yeah, I'm sure. What's special about Pirates? Because there is something special about the team. Maybe you won't be able to express it, but there is.
I tell you what, when I joined Pirates in 1993, Pirates reminded me of this one big, overly massive supported township team, and they were huge. But they had two things when I joined them in 93. They had great players. They had an awesome team. And they had the best support in the country. And they loved me. So it made it even better. So they they took to me from the outset. So and there was no doubt that Pirates were going to become what they did become. But we had awesome players. It must be the most talented team that I ever played in at that time in 93. And in the space of a couple of months, we'd won the UISA, and then we won the BP Top 8. We were sitting handily on the log. And then Pirates do what Pirates do best.
Implode.
We implode.
Not only Pirates. But, definitely there's something special. I mean, I remember whenever I played against Orlando Pirates, you knew you had a game on your hands, that you were not playing 11 players.
No.
And, you played in the UISA Spectacular as well. I played there, 120,000 people. I mean, I'm talking they were on the touchline when we used to play against, and it used to be 4 teams. It was Amazulu, us, Pirates, Chiefs, and I'm not sure if it was Sundowns. I don't think Sundowns were that big. But there was one other, I can't remember who it was. But Pirates were the team.
And buddy, the team that you played for at the time, Amazulu, were a massively supported team.
Especially in Transvaal. Because a lot of the men were working on the mines that were actually from Durban.
And in the
Natal.
hostels,
You're
they
right.
were all there.
So when we used to go and play there, sometimes we had bigger support than Swallows. You know, so, but you're quite right. Pirates, just something else, you know. And then talking about players, great players. Jomo Sono came from Orlando Pirates. You know, Bashin Mashlangu, some of the great players. Gora, you know what? We're running out of time. Always this happens when we're having good fun. Thank you very much again for coming into the studio. It's always our pleasure to have you. And may Allah bless you and your family on your relocation to Cape Town.
Yes.
We're hoping that Durban becomes maybe your third home.
As long as you're here, buddy. I think I'll always be here. It's great to be here, and thank you for having me on the show. I had a blast right now.
Excellent. And like I said, you want to chat to Gora, he's here for the rest of the week. He's going to be with me, so you can get me on my WhatsApp, or if you want to phone the ALANSAAR studio, they'll give you my number. Get a copy of the book, but come on down somewhere, either Orient or Astros, or we'll make some arrangements, and you can chat to Gora. It'll be really, really valuable, especially to the kids. If you have kids that in your school that would like to maybe have a half an hour chat or something, we'll come out there, and then we can arrange that. So Gora, blessings on you. Thank you very much. No regrets. Beautiful book.
Thank you, buddy.
God, may